Tonight, we are going to have our spotlight artist, which is going to be Stevie Wonder. So many of you, if you think about your favorite song, maybe you'll hear it tonight as we go through the show. Well, guys, I hope everybody love our new set that we have. As you can see, we have ourselves with our chairs tonight that are personalized. Andre has his, and here's mine that says Deborah.
I love that you set up personally.
Yes.
I got my tea and everything.
Yes. Guys,
wait, Deborah.
Huh?
Have y'all seen this movie? What does it remind you of? You have to see the movie. It's from the movie Get Out.
Oh, Get Out. No, that's a scary movie?
No, it's not a scary movie. It's kind of like a movie about black and white people. And it's a really good movie. You should see it. I saw it. Very good movie.
Okay.
It's suspenseful, I'll say that.
I have not seen that at all. But guys, this just shows growth in everything that you do. And it also shows that we are on the moon.
On the moon.
Yes, we are on the moon. Well, it's time for our little chit chat. So, how has your week been?
It has been, and I made a post on Facebook, and this is kind of going to be, because if you can tell or see, I didn't write anything for inspiration this week. I didn't have any notes, and it's because it's going to be from here and here. Not saying that the past stuff hasn't been, but usually Wednesday, Thursday, I have what I'm going to say and what I'm going to do already mapped out. But last weekend and last week was like probably one of the worst weekends and weeks of my life. It was just so much going on. The detail about exactly what it was, but as a human, as a man, as a Christian, as a son, as a brother, all of that was tested last weekend and this week, and getting forward and getting ready for the weekend coming up, it has enlightened me, has opened my eyes, it has even calmed me down, because of course the situations, and I say situations that happened would make any normal person go crazy. Yeah, and I didn't lose my mind. I can honestly say this, that silence is really a beautiful thing, because sometimes when you're in silence, it brings things to clarity.
Yes, and it does. It really does.
This week I've been allowed to be silent, and I'm glad about it. I also have a praise report. You all don't know, we talk about this a lot, but you might not know, but I want to introduce you to my mother, and I'm not going to make her come up, but she's sitting over here. She's been a part of the show with us for a longest time.
Yes,
my
she's
mother,
one of our biggest fans.
She's one of our biggest supporters.
Yes.
My mother has been diagnosed with Parkinson's disease, and it's been a few years that she's had it, and we've been to doctors, and it never seemed like anybody was giving any useful information.
Right.
It seemed like we were coming to them with the symptoms, and they were just treating things that didn't have nothing to do with what was going on with her. So she was getting worse and worse and worse, and mobility was becoming crazy. I believe the left side of her body is like up and down with function, like sometimes she can't even move.
Right.
And it was frustrating as her son to see that. But recently, my oldest sister, shout out to my oldest sister, linked us up with a holistic doctor. And
you know what? Those are the
exactly
best.
in Covington.
Yes.
I'm sorry, in Conyers. My mother went to an appointment, a consultation, and then came back this past Thursday. Had her actual first appointment with the doctor, and from what my young with her, that meeting and that interaction was one of the best interactions my mother has had with a doctor since she's been diagnosed. They put her on some herbal medicine versus what she was taking.
That is so much
to
better.
see what's going to happen.
Yes.
And I talked to her, I asked her, I said, Mom, how do you feel? And she said, well, I feel a little better, a little different. And that's a good sign, because if she would have told me she felt worse, I'd have been like, the wrong thing. But she said that she really enjoyed this doctor. She said this doctor sounded like he was going to be a doctor that cared about her getting better. And I don't know any doctors that are out there right now, but I say most of the doctors that I've come in contact with, because I do work in the medical field, they're out there for that check.
Oh yeah, definitely insurance money.
Yes, that
Yes,
check. So it's good to
definitely.
know that there are doctors still out there who are trying to heal the sick and not just collect that check. So praise support for that. My mother worked this past Thursday, and this coming Thursday she has another doctor's appointment with that same doctor. And I'm just thankful to God because, like I said, there's nothing worse than living your life and doing your own thing, and your mother is not well, and there's nothing you can do
Exactly.
about it. Like I
And at
wish
least
I could do something.
you care. You
Yeah.
really care
I take
about
it.
her.
I trade places with her. I
Yes.
take the Parkinson's and let her be good
Yes.
if that's how it is.
Right. It
So
does.
on that. So other than that, the week has been okay. It's been
Right.
good.
But I have another lady that and I think you've met her before. Mimi is her name.
Yeah, yeah,
And so every time I'm not feeling as well as I do, I go to her and ask her because she's a person that she uses all these different herbs. She doesn't believe in using all the medicine that you bring home from the doctor and things like that. And she'll try to say, well, maybe you need to eat this or maybe you need to try this or something like that. And that does work. I'm telling you. Being off of any type of medication and just trying to do it with the herbs, that is something that is much better. So we've got to keep a close eye on
and that's what
mom
I've been
to
doing.
see how she's how she's
keep an eye.
doing. Yes,
She's
that's
to
it.
be honest with you, she's looking better than she looked before. We had a scare a week ago or maybe 2 weeks ago where we were out eating for Mother's Day, and my mother literally passed out
Yeah, I
during
remember. She started feeling bad again.
yeah. So
After that,
it's
right?
nothing other down and out. It makes you in my terrible weekend and week. It was a lot that I said if I wasn't strong, like it was taking me out. But it just made my life things clear and some decisions that I haven't made are decisions that I'm now going to be able to make because I had that little bit of chutzpah added on to it. So congratulations to my mother on the next step in her recovery.
Congratulations.
If you do pray and if you do know a God or the God, whoever you worship, say a special prayer for my mother. Just continue to on her healing and continue to ask God to have and I mean that. I mean want God to have His will because too many times as Christians or as followers of Christ, we want to implement our will.
Yeah, and
we have to understand that it's God's will. So when you're saying these prayers, instead of saying God heal them and make them 100% better, just say God, this is your will. Let your will be done, and whatever God wants to happen will happen.
That's what's going to happen.
Pray for Him to help you deal with what He makes happen. Because I said we have to understand that we have to give the power back to who it belongs.
Yeah, we do.
And He has the power. So
well, I can tell you, first of all, I'm happy to be off. I'm off from school.
That is right.
Right
you
now.
Lucky old.
But have you ever heard of the more time you have off, the more time is left there for other things to just creep on in?
Yeah.
And so I've been fighting that off. We're doing a lot of things that I know that are positive for myself. But just like you said, sometimes silence is the best thing.
Yeah.
And with that being said, it's like even being silent with certain people. Just don't say nothing. It's better sometimes just not to say anything.
Yeah.
And make all your communications be with your Heavenly Father.
Exactly.
He is the only one that will bring you some type of relief.
Right.
From what's going on. And so that's what I've been doing, working on that, along with the song. And it's like I said, it's to the point where it's ready for like the mix down of it and everything. But I know what it's gonna sound like and I know what I want. And I'm happy and I can't wait for it because that song is going to be part of my healing process.
Yeah.
So I'm really anxious to.
Well, congratulations to you. You deserve
get
it.
Finished.
You need this for you, and that's the most important thing. So, and I've heard the rough draft of the song, y'all, and I will tell you, it will give you goosebumps because it's that deep, but it's also it's personal to her. Not all of her songs are personal to her, but this one is one of the monumental person. And she talked to me on the phone and called me, and she said, is this what I want to do? Yes, it's what you want to do, because sometimes, when it comes to your music, artists, we can't verbally say something to somebody how we want to say it, but if we write it in a song, it makes it feel so much better. I know me personally, and this is, I know Taylor Swift does this. If we have an issue, we have problems, even we have good times, you're going to be in one of my songs. There's going to be a song about you. My whole entire first album is about one of my relationships that just was up and down, inside and out. High school relationships, out of high school, college, early adulthood. All of those people that I dated during that time are a part of Let's Begin, my first album. Right. And my new album coming out now is about the relationships that I've been in since the end of Let's Begin. So,
well, this one is so special to me that once it's finished, I'm gonna just invite my close friends, people that are close to me, and people that are interested in what I'm doing. Yeah. And we're gonna have just something small. You know how you had when you had your album release? Yeah. Because I think that I need people to know what that song is. Because I feel like there are many other people out there that need that, and maybe that could be a healing process for for them. So,
totally agree, but I agree. What's going on, YouTube? How are you? And Facebook, you'll be seeing this later on, but YouTube, talk to us when you get a chance. When you see this live, comment on our YouTube page or our Facebook pages. We are building an empire, a great thing here, and it's going to take some time, so we're working some kinks out. Stick with us, because one thing about Deborah and myself that you will learn is that we are not fake. There isn't a fake bone in our body. And sometimes people don't understand that when you're being real, sometimes you'll be real and you'll be alone. And sometimes you'll be real and people won't want to gravitate towards you. Yes. And it's only because you're being elevated to another level. And once you get into that level and you get into those, it's kind of like some new shoes. You got to break them in. Yeah, you wear them a few times until you break them in. It's the same thing with changing to a new level. Sometimes when you go to the new level, you go by yourself. And once you get there and you fill it up and you decorate the way you want it to be, and you invite your friends over to see, and they see, wow, this can be done. Yes. It puts a spark in them to do the same thing. It does. And sometimes they'll join you, and sometimes they'll join you and they'll start their own thing. Exactly. So in this time, that's what we need, because we have a lot of people that are just, like my mother said the other day, is that people follow and follow and follow, but it's time for us to develop some leaders. And one thing about Deborah and myself is that both of us are leaders. I'm a leader.
Definitely.
I follow.
I know I'm a leader.
I can't follow anybody, because when I follow you, I put you under a microscope, because if you tell me something out of your mouth and I'm following you and I see something different, then we have an issue. I am against the cliche, fake it till you make it. Oh yeah. I don't want to fake nothing till I make it. Only because and I'll get more into this when I do my inspiration, but especially when you're following Christ, no faking it till you're making it, no giving whatever you can to God, and then keeping the good stuff to yourself. You know what I'm saying? It's like giving your guests the cheap liquor and then saving the good stuff for yourself. So you're giving God the cheap liquor and you saving the good stuff for yourself, but you want people to come and join you. So I'm just, I'll get more into that to my inspiration, but
and then the other thing is that people don't understand. We have a great leader. Yeah. And that is, our higher power. And so he's the one that teaches us, and he gives us the tools to become successful with what we're doing. But it's up to us to follow that. And if we don't follow it, or we don't transfer it, is what I want to say. If we don't transfer in a positive way, then it's not going to work. And I think from the very beginning, when we first started the show, even when I first met you, that was one of the first things I said, is that I'm gonna, and I can't be any other way. That's the only way.
Totally agree.
Just to be real. So with that,
you are real.
With that being said, and since we were on that conversation, I was out shopping, and I am one that if I'm inspirational, I like to pick it up. And I happen to see this, and it says, refuse to be anything but successful. And I thought about both of us with that. I refuse to be anything else but that. Okay. I feel like I have a red carpet, a path that's laid out for me. And every time I think about it, the burning desire I have for everything I do, not just for one thing I do, but everything I do, it's laid out. And to me, it seems like it's always calling me, saying, come on, keep going. You know, you got to do, it's like putting your foot on the accelerator in your car, and you constantly pressing the gas and you're keeping going. So, I thought that was amazing. So everybody, you know, hey, go sometime and, you know, go around and go to Ross, go to Burlington, because they have lots and lots of nice journals.
Office Depot, that's my second job. Okay. Office Depot, we have a lot of journals like that, inspirational stuff. And I think that's one of the things that I'm going to do, and you should do that too. And I think, matter of fact, let's do that. Let's do this. I propose that from now on, when we go to these stores, we buy as many inspirational journals we can, and that's going to be our gifts to you. When we do contests, we do things, because there's nothing more fulfilling than picking up something that you get to write in that starts with inspiration. Exactly. So I'm going to, starting Monday when I go back to my second job, I'm going to pick up a lot of these inspirational binders that say inspirational things. I'm going to buy a few.
I'm going to pick up a couple.
And we're going to start spreading the inspiration through mail and through, you know. Exactly. Because we need to.
We do. And guys, we have been telling you guys that, you know, we are waiting to give away this one giveaway that we getting. This giveaway that we have is something that everyone, you know, can actually use, especially if you drive a automobile.
It's a new BMW.
So, you know, the way to earn that prize is to, you know, be very, very real with us and join us on our shows every Friday, you know, and kind of like, you know, just, you know, drop us a line. You know, we gave you guys our email address from last week. Want to tell them again?
So Deborah basically just told you the nice way. I'm going to tell you a little bit stern way. The only way, and this is what we're going to do, we'll come up with a date by the end of the show and let you know next show. But when we come up with a deadline, this is the way to win the contest. We want as many people as we can, either Deborah or mine, to subscribe to our YouTube page. If we get... we're gonna pick someone from the subscriptions to win this big prize, and we're gonna do this maybe a couple of times out of the year. But this will be the first one.
This will be the first one.
Here is the information of what you need to do from this point on, from today on. If you're watching this YouTube video or if you're watching us on Facebook, click the link on our page.
Yes.
When you subscribe to the page, in the comments, put something inspirational about you, about your life, something like that we can read. And then later on, we pick the deadline. We're going to pick a winner based off of that. Or if you're going to subscribe to us and you don't want to put a comment underneath the subscription, go to our website. I'm sorry, not our website, our email, liveinthedivasden@gmail.com, and drop us a line. And we're going to pick someone soon to win this first big prize. This is just the first of the many big prizes that we're going to do, because we're not only trying to just get subscriptions, but we want to make sure that you guys are getting your cup filled with inspiration and Indian artists and music. You know, and if you notice, since we've been on YouTube, me and Deborah perform every YouTube show, and we'll do that tonight also. Exactly. So this gives you the opportunity to hear us sing, go buy our music, buy my album, buy Deborah's album, get our singles. And go to YouTube and subscribe to Deborah's page or my page. Drop a line in that page and let us know something inspirational. Or go to Live in the Divas Den, that's one word, liveinthedivasden@gmail.com, and drop something wonderful there. And soon, the deadline, we're going to pick the deadline, and then we're going to pick someone from the subscriptions, and we're going to award them with that gift. And we might even give some awards around.
And not only that, though, you know, if you are following us and you subscribe to our page, your name will also go into a drawing for the night that I actually debut my new single, the one that we were just talking about.
You don't want to miss it.
And so, you know, just, you know, join us. I mean, we're not saying anything negative. We're giving you just some positive information.
Good.
Right, and trying to bring some inspiration to some indie artists who are kind of like afraid to get out there and get in front of the camera or get in front of the mic. You know, you might need some extra boost of confidence. Well, this is what we're here for.
We're here for it.
Yes. Well, I know we're going to go into our inspiration that we have ourselves. Ready. But the one thing else I wanted to say was I was so touched yesterday. I looked at the Braxtons, and I just want to say to Tony, I hope that you get better with your lupus, because I don't want to see you lose your voice either. She's right now, her voice box is being blocked. And she says that, it's to the point that she doesn't know if she's going to have to stop performing or not. And when I hear that, just coming from anyone, I don't care who it is. If you love to sing, that's your creativity. That's what you like to do. And if it's taken away from you, I could only imagine that's a hard pill to swallow.
I'm sure it is.
Yes,
so
it is.
Special shout out and prayer to Tony Braxton. We'll be keeping you in our prayers, Miss Braxton.
Yes.
Praying your healing.
Definitely.
Inspiration time?
Yes.
Oh,
we are now for inspiration. And while you do that, then I'm going to get my glasses, because you know how that goes.
Inspiration by Deborah Ware.
Tonight, my inspirational topic is on moving forward. What's done is done. What's gone is gone. One of life's lessons is always moving on. It is okay to look back and think of fond memories. But keep moving forward, and you will live your life happily. Sometimes we find ourselves being the bigger one and try to bring an end to an existing issue, but in a positive way that someone has against you. And you feel like you're a mess, but really you're not a mess. You're just brave for even trying. Life never stops moving forward. Stay focused and never slow down because of regrets. Smile, forgive, forget, and then move on. So just remember, smile, forgive, forget, and move on. And remember, what's done is done. When it's gone, what's gone is gone.
I dig it, man.
Yes.
I dig it.
Yes.
That's what I feel like doing. I dig it.
Yes.
That was good. That was good.
We can't live for regrets, because if we continue to live for regrets just because other people are trying to make us feel like we are less important than what we are, I'm finding that you're gonna stay stagnant. You're not gonna go on. So it's almost like saying, more power to you and peace.
Peace.
Yes.
All right, so my inspiration or encouragement or whatever you want to call it is just because of my weekend and my week. And it basically is, the title, I think I'm going to give this title to it, is going to be, So You Want to Be a Leader. So you want to be a leader, do you really understand what that entails? Do you understand the responsibilities, the requirements, the sacrifices that it takes to be a leader? Being a leader or a manager or a supervisor is more than just giving orders to someone else. Being a leader, a manager, or a supervisor is a lot more than giving people ultimatums. Being a leader, a supervisor, a manager is a lot more than being able to hire someone and fire someone, a paycheck or a title or something to put on your resume. Being a leader, a supervisor, or a manager is like a personality. A lot of us don't have that personality to be leaders, to be managers, to be supervisors. I go back to my upbringing as a Christian. We are taught in the church that everyone is on this earth to do and be something. But yet in the church, we forget those rules and we just start handing out jobs to people just because. And then when things go south, you're wondering, well, what happened? I have such and such here and such there. But a leader, a manager, a supervisor researches the people that they're hiring, the people that they're overseeing. They research those abilities that it takes to be a leader, a manager, or a supervisor. I'm reflected and I'm brought back to being a manager at Radio Shack, being a supervisor at Target, being a manager at Walmart, being a manager at Dollar Tree, being a manager at Office Depot. Any of those times that I was a manager, every one of those jobs, I started out at the bottom. I never asked to be a manager, a supervisor, or a leader. I started out at the bottom. And I gave my all on day 1. And by day 30, they were offering me the job.
Exactly.
They were telling me, come on, boy, come on, brother, take this position. And I took it every time. And I complained a few times about the responsibilities of it, the craziness of it. But eventually I learned and understood that it's who I am. It's in my blood and my DNA. And I apply that to my family life too. My family is very dependent on me to do this and to do that and to be the person to make that. And I would complain about that too. But then I understood that there's a reason that God put me in that place, in those jobs and in this family. There's a reason why God made me the person that I am. It's because he knew that I could handle it. Because if I couldn't handle it, then the first time I felt like I couldn't handle it, it would have took me out. It should have took me out. It was designed to take me out. I think we lose focus and we forget that you can't teach one thing and live another. We say this in the church too, and it's just, give the best that you can, and people take that literally and they just throw out something and give that to God or give that to their spouse, and they say, well, that's the best I got. I'm going to tell you this, and I might not be right, but in my life it's worked. If I'm giving you some of me and I'm telling you that this is the best that I've got, it's not the best that I've got. I'm going to say that again so you understand. If I'm in a relationship with you, a workship with you, a partnership with you, whatever the case may be, and I'm supposed to be giving you my all, and I literally tell you to your face, I'm doing all that I can. I'm not doing all that I can. Because there's no need for me to tell you that I'm doing all that I can. It'll show up in what I'm doing. And it's hard for people to grasp that for some reason. They think or they feel like until you have the best packaged up into a nice bow and basket to give, that you can give second best just to make it, just to do it. Just give the second best until you get done wrapping the first best.
Right, it's just like just give it to be given.
Give it to be given it and then work on the rest of it. And if we do that, we're telling people of God, we're telling people of the world that it's okay to give second and half of what you really can't give while you're working on getting the rest together. Do you go to the car dealership with half of the down payment? No, your behind gets it all.
Exactly. And not only that, God didn't give us half.
Right. Thank you very much. Did God die half on the cross, or did he fully die on the cross? Does God give you half use of your limbs in the morning? Does God give you half use of your limbs while he's working on getting the rest working? No, he gives you his all the time. No matter what the sacrifice is, you get his all every day. Even when he doesn't have to be perfect. He doesn't have to be perfect, but it needs to be your all completely. It doesn't need to be your all based on what you think. It needs to be your all. And sometimes it don't feel good when you have to give 100% of yourself to something. Sometimes it makes you feel like total crap. You feel useless after it. You feel empty. I'm reminded the first time I got the Holy Ghost. It was so long ago. Now, I played before and would get the Holy Ghost and it wasn't real. And I just felt tired after. I was like, man, this dancing is something else. But the first time that I actually got the Holy Ghost and I came to and I got up, I felt so drained emotionally, spiritually. And it was because my plug had tapped into the plug of God.
Yes, exactly.
And everything that I had that was going on in my life just sucked right out of me and just transferred into Him.
Yes.
So I'm telling you this. If your praise ain't real and you're not exhausted after it, you're not drained after it, you just wasted time and playing church, like Shirley Caesar would say. You just playing church. But if you give your all, not just to God, but to everything in your life, and you're drained at the end of the day, exhausted at the end of the day, don't know left from right, up from down, night from day, then you know you've given your all. If you still have energy at the end of giving your all to your craft, to your life, to your partner, and you still got some energy left to give it to somebody else, then you didn't give them your all in the first place.
Ooh, I got a testimony on that. I can't wait. I'm sorry. I can't wait. I cannot wait until you finish. Because
I'm done.
What you just said, you know what? I've been through that today. I've been through it at last night. And you know how you just get up and you just feel so drained. It's like you got no sleep at all. An hour or two before this show, I felt like that. I felt like, oh God, I don't know. Can I get up and do this? And then I just kept thinking, and all of a sudden, this energy just came through. And with me, a lot of times people say, oh, God don't talk to you. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, He talk to you. He tell you, get your butt up off that couch, and make a move, So you are right. You are so right. You are just,
I just call it like I see it.
To drain you.
It has to be, I call it like I see it. I have to live it. I don't have to live it, but I live it so I can give it to you. Because it don't make no sense for me to live it and hold on to it. How you going to bring somebody somewhere and you have the information to bring them? Like I said, if you're given the resources to make things better in your life, but you keep saying, oh, I can't do it. I can't make it better. It's foolishness. If someone's handing you the keys to a car, but you saying you can't unlock it, I gave you the key.
So why can't you?
So why can't you unlock it? There are people out there that ain't got no limbs and can be given the keys to a car and still find a way to get in that car and drive it. But you got used to your limbs, your mind, and everything, and you can't figure. You've been given the key to unlock the car, and you still ain't got it, and you're trying to drive it yet.
And that takes me back to what I said.
Silly rabbit.
God provides us with everything we need to accomplish what it is we need to accomplish. And if we don't accomplish it, say like Oprah said, if you got a dream and you don't make that dream come true, that's nobody's fault but your own.
That's it.
Because you sat down on that dream and you didn't do nothing. So I take full advantage of knowing that God laid out the red carpet for me. And He gave me the tools. And that's why I said I'm continuing to use them.
Same thing.
I'm just not going to stop.
You can't say you're giving God your all and you're 100% of yourself when He's giving you the resources to give you 100%, but yet you're still giving Him 50. Yeah. It's like you're shortchanging the Lord. You're shortchanging God.
You're giving Him excuses.
Right. He's giving you the tools to give Him 100%, and you're giving Him 50. So basically, you're giving God 50, you pocketing 50.
Exactly.
So you're robbing God, not just with tithes and offering, but with your gifts.
Yes.
You don't, and I can talk about it all day, and I'm not a preacher, to let you know, not a minister, none of that stuff. I'm not ordained at all. Ain't nothing ordained over here. And I got some sin in my life. I can tell you that right now. If you want to see a sinner, you're looking at one. But the whole thing about me being a sinner is that I acknowledge that I am a sinner, and I'm trying to do better. What's your excuse?
Yeah, that's it. One sure thing about it, there's not one person walking on this earth right now that can sit there and say, I haven't sinned. Because that's not true.
Some people on this earth are walking around like that.
Yeah, they're saying it. Oh,
arrogant.
yeah, they say, oh, I don't lie. I
Arrogant.
don't sin.
Arrogant.
You know, but you got to remember, Adam and Eve. Remember? Yeah. Take us back.
Yeah.
That was, if it wasn't for their sinning.
Right.
Okay, God so created the world, right?
Oh, that's right.
Okay.
So that was our inspirational
Yes.
moment. I hope you got something out of it. If not,
I hope so.
If not, I got something out of hers. She got something out of mine. That we good with it.
And if you have any questions or anything you want to add to the inspiration we had, remember to contact us at liveinthedivasden@gmail.com. We accept it all.
Sure do. That's one word, liveinthedivasden@gmail.com.
Yes, yes. Well, Andre, let us get into some music from our spotlight artist for tonight. I think after those pieces of inspiration, we need something that is going to make us get popping really quick.
Well, who is our
spotlight artist is none other than the great, the phenomenal
Bobby Brown.
Stevie Wonder. Stevie Wonder. So
yeah,
let's listen to "You Can Feel It All Over" by Stevie Wonder.
Is that Stevie Wonder?
Yeah, that's Stevie Wonder.
I wonder.
That is him, guys. You know, hey, you know, you can feel it all over. That's it. Hey. Music is a world within itself, with a language we all understand, with an equal opportunity for all to sing, dance, and clap their hands. But just because the record has a groove, don't make it improve. But you can tell right away that hey, when the people start to move, they can feel it all over. They can feel it all over. They can feel it all over. They can feel it all Music knows it is and always will be one of the things music, we can feel our higher power all over. All we got to do is believe and pursue with doing it. That's why refuse to be anything but successful. All righty, okay.
Please refuse to be anything but successful.
Oh, yes, definitely, definitely, definitely. Well, y'all, that was some great music. And Stevie Wonder, I mean, this man has put out, I can't even count how many, songs or albums.
Talk about somebody that defied the odds. I don't know if you knew this, but Stevie Wonder's blind. Did you know that?
Yes, exactly.
What's your excuse? He's blind.
He is blind, and he still maintain to put out.
And he plays the piano. He's blind and he plays
piano, harmonica,
and he blind.
Yes.
And he ain't got no sight.
None.
And you complaining about not having 5 minutes to listen to a song?
Exactly.
Girl, bye.
Yeah. But those were the songs that you could actually know what was the meaning of.
Yes,
and his focus, he loved music, so that's how he started it out.
You can tell.
Yeah. Well, now we're going to move on into some inspiration for indie artists. Now, I think a long time ago when we first started the show, I kind of touched on this topic a little bit, but this week, something just made me want to go back to it because sometimes I don't really think people fully understand, what is an indie artist and what's the benefits of being an indie artist. And I think if you are an indie artist, you need to know what are your benefits of being an indie artist. Are you just being an indie artist just to be one, or what is it? So I looked up some things. And so I'm going to just kind of touch a little bit on what are some of the benefits of being an indie artist. Because this is one topic that can be carried over for the next two times that we have the show. So I'm just going to tell you about a few. Okay, one of the first things when it comes down to the benefits of being an indie artist is label controls. Okay, as an indie artist, you have total control over your career. It is your career. It is not anybody else's career. This means that you are the one that does several things. One of the things is you decide where you want to play your music. 2, which kinds of venues you want to play in. 3, how much time do you want to spend out on the road? Number 4, when and how often you want to play. That means when and how often do you want to really go out to a venue and actually perform? Number 5, how much money you want to make. You have control over that. Number 6, what kinds of music and which songs to play. Number 7, what kinds of music and which songs to record. Because if you're on a label, you're going to record whatever songs they tell you to record. But as an indie artist, you have that freedom. You have the leadway to record what you want to record. Number 8, who is on your business team? That means if you don't want somebody on your team, you can kick them off. But if you're with a label, the label says who's on your team. Number 9, who is in your band? Again, you have the choice of picking who you want to be your bass player, your lead guitar player, your drummer, your piano player, your horns, like your saxophones and your trumpets. Number 10, how you want to market yourself. Another benefit is there are no unreasonable limitations due to my very first one that I'm always sticking with, your age. That means it doesn't matter how old you are. If you want to sing and you want to record music and you want to go out and sing at a venue, you can do it. Nobody can control you on that when you are an indie artist. The second one underneath No unreasonable limitations. Your looks. Hey, if you want to look like a bum when you go out to sing, hey, that's you. If you want to dress fancy, that's you. You have no one telling you how to dress when you go out to perform your music. Another one, the geographic location. Maybe you don't want to go to Texas. Maybe you want to stay right here in Georgia and perform. If you're an indie artist, you can do it. Nobody's telling you that you can't. Number 4, your income level. Again, that goes back to how much money do you want to make? How much money do you want to tell a venue when you go to get hired for a job, for a gig? This is what you accept, or this is what you expect them to pay you. And then lastly, the level of talent. That means that if you think you're good, no matter what nobody else tells you, you still go by what you feel. So, what's your intake on some of it?
I would say number 11 would be something that indie artists experience or have to deal with, and also mainstream artists. Mm-hmm. And it's a good thing. And I'll explain why. And it's struggle. It's a good thing on both sides. Mm-hmm. Reason why is because struggle builds character. Struggle builds that thick skin that everyone talks about that you're supposed to have. Yes. Or that they say you're supposed to have. And again, people misuse that word and they say, oh, you got to have a thick skin to be in this business. No, you got to have a thick skin among other skins. You got to have thick skins. You got to have the skin to talk two-faced. You got to have the skin to be a business person, a producer, a connoisseur of music, a spokesperson for your music, a spokesperson for your looks. Because all of these things as an indie artist, you have control over, but no one's going to do this for you. You don't have someone to tell you this is the style for your hair, because you're choosing that style. So when you wear that style, you are more than likely going to have to, somewhere in your music career, is defend it or explain it to your fans or your supporters. But struggle is on both ends, and I think it's a good thing. But I more so believe, as an indie artist, struggle is one of the key components that people won't tell you. They'll say you, oh, as an indie artist, you have so much great stuff. Yes, don't forget to tell them that one of the great things you have as an indie artist is you have your struggle story, basically. Exactly. And I'm not talking about, I grew up in the ghetto and all I know is music. I'm talking about being an indie artist and having people tell you you're not what the music industry needs, or telling you that you're too fat, you're too skinny, you're too old, you don't run and rip like the artists that are out there. All of these things are going to build character. They're going to help you. They're going to be struggles. They're going to be negatives. They're going to be things that you get to turn into positive. Because when you do get an opportunity to get in front of a microphone, hello, is this thing on? This thing right here? You get a platform like Deborah and myself have. You get to say stuff like, I may not run and riff like this artist. I may not look like this artist. I may not be this size as an artist, but damn it, I'm still good. I'm still an amazing artist. I still can sing. I can still sell records. And you can prove that by doing so, because you're an indie artist and you control all of those things Deborah just said. Right. So don't forget about the struggle.
You don't have to be a Whitney. You don't have to be a Luther.
Don't forget about the struggle. The struggle is a very important key component to being an indie artist. It is, and I want you to understand this that I'm saying so you'll know. If you're going to be an indie artist, you must have a struggle. You must go through a struggle. You will go through a struggle. It's not going to be easy. Because if it was easy, then like they said, everyone would do it. And that's so true. If being an indie artist was easy, and if it was just about talent, I'm sure everybody in the world would be doing it. But it's more than just talent. It's struggle. It's determination. It's passion. It's understanding that you're going to get more no's than yeses sometimes. These are the things that indie artists go through. These things that Deborah's went through and I go through.
Yeah, and your struggle helps you to see your progress. Yeah. You look at your beginning. Yeah. And you look at where you are now. Yeah. And if you don't see any change from the beginning to where you are now, and you've been at it for a long time, then maybe maybe you might want to
There's a
take
lot
a
of
look at
things.
that.
Maybe
Yeah.
you're not receptive to criticism or to constructive criticism, or maybe you're not willing to go to an artist development person. You're not willing to go to a vocal coach. Hello. Because you think you got it all together, because you think you can sing, and that's all you need.
Right, and we mentioned last week,
Yeah.
if you can't afford to go to one, there's plenty vocal coaching done on YouTube.
And
so
it's free.
no excuse.
And
Yeah,
it's free.
and they're good.
Yeah.
A lot of them are good.
Yeah.
So.
So when you know right, you do right. Or something like that.
Yeah. Well, that's all I had on, as far as inspiration for indie artists. I hope that this gave some insight to any indie artists out there who might have been kind of struggling with, knowing what are the benefits of being an indie artist. And I would tell you, for me, being an indie artist, it's a great feeling.
Yeah, it's a wonderful feeling.
Yeah, it's a great feeling because it's just like right now with us sitting up here. We have on blue t-shirts, right? Teal color t-shirts. If we had somebody else to dress us and tell us, they might say, well, I wouldn't wear that, or something like that. But like this, we can do what we want to.
Good stuff.
Yes.
I know what I'm ready for.
Yes.
I'm ready for the diva to hit the stage.
Yes. And I'm ready for the dawn.
Look at that. Miss Deborah Ware.
Come back at you.
Miss Deborah Ware is going to hit the microphone for us.
Yes.
And she's going to sing this is the song that I think she should sing. She gave me the choice of the two. So I chose.
Which one did you choose?
chose Last Time, only because of what we've been talking about and we've been going through.
Yes.
This is a perfect opportunity for her to, because the new song that she has coming out is an extension of The Last Time, if you really want to put it into perspective. The Last Time is what she's been dealing with, and this new song that she has coming out is just an extension, and it gets more in depth. So if you love this song, you're going to love the new one when she, unveils it for you.
Yes, definitely.
So we're ready for you.
All right, well, I will get ready. Okay, guys, and the name of this song is This Is the Last Time. Oh, Andres just reminded me, I always forget this, but if you like any of my music, you can go to Reverb Nation, you can go to iTunes, you can go to Amazon, just Google me. Why do I always end up being wrong when I am the one that you can always call on? But no matter what I do, no matter what I say, I'm gonna be wrong. I have so much pain hidden deep inside. All I do is roll up and cry. You see, with every pain, it makes me stronger, yeah. And that's because my life, it has a purpose. And I'm not trying to waste it, just appreciate it. This is the last time that you hurt me. I won't let you hurt me again. This is the last time that you hurt me. I swear I won't let you, no. This is the last time that you close the door on me, yeah. 'Cause now I have the strength to walk away with pride and hold my head up high. Now that I finally opened up my eyes, 'Cause now I have the strength to walk away with pride and hold my head up high. No deception, no more pain. Only I can make the change to move on without regrets. Remembering how you showed that you could care less. No more pain, no more deception, no more pain. No more deception, no more pain. No more deception, no more deception.
And that was Miss Deborah herself.
Yes, guys, be on the lookout for the new single, It's Only a Dream.
Yes. Before I hit the stage, we were going to end. We didn't do news.
Oh.
There's a few things that we can talk about, just that happened, because I'm sure you've seen the news. I know you've seen what's going on. One of the things that I saw that was the Morgan Freeman allegation.
Oh my God!
Wow!
I'm just so tired of hearing all this stuff.
Coming out.
I mean, it's coming from underneath the rug.
Everywhere.
I'm like, what is this?
That was something that was crazy to me. It's like, really? Yeah, if you don't know, Morgan Freeman has been accused of sexually harassing a few women that came forward. I think last week or week before is when the story broke. Haven't heard anything else on it thus far, but this is a huge thing. Bill Cosby stuff.
Oh my God.
So now we're dealing with this, and more information to come once I sit down and research. So I don't want to give you any hardcore facts, but I can tell you just logistically, just a run over of it, is that he's been accused of sexually harassing a few women who came forward, but this was years ago.
Right, but if you remember now, I don't know if it was sometime last year or year before, remember, he got in this bad accident.
Yeah.
Him and I think it was him and his wife got in a bad accident or something. And right then and there was some things that were brought up at that time too. So I'm like, my point is, I just don't understand why everybody who's involved in it just let all these years roll by.
Yeah, I think that's everyone.
When these people are too up to say that they could actually withstand the punishment that could come behind it. And then I just feel like, I think about, what is this teaching our kids? Oh, it's teaching our kids to lie, that what you do, it's okay. That's just not.
Me and Deborah we're not for one side or the other. No. We are staying neutral because we don't know the facts. So we're not saying that Morgan Freeman did these things, and we're also not saying that these women had these things done to them. We don't know the facts. But we're just giving you information. So that's one thing. And the other thing, I don't know, I'm not, but if you're a fan of Roseanne, you know that her show has been canceled.
Exactly.
They were already in production for season 2, and the show's been canceled thus going forward because of her racist remarks on Twitter.
Yeah, but she at the beginning she said something negative, in other words. During the time of the Trump campaign and stuff like that.
She does support Donald Trump.
She supports him. But she just didn't get caught then.
Yeah.
And so now that she's cost all those people their jobs, and they said the show was doing really good.
Yeah, the show was doing really good. It was like 40 million viewers.
But I tell you
it was the highest rated show on it. It was an ABC?
ABC. But it didn't take long for them to pull it.
It didn't take long. It didn't take long. She made a racial remark to 2 people. One person was former aide to President Obama, Valerie. I don't recall her last name, but she made a racial remark about her looks and comparing her looks to the looks of some kind of alien or something,
she said,
which was very disrespectful. And then she also made a political jab at Clinton's daughter.
Yeah, she sure did. Yeah.
And it's very inappropriate. Roseanne did come back on Twitter after that, and she apologized for it and said that it was in poor taste. But I think before that, she blamed it on the Ambien that she was taking.
But that company came back so quickly.
They were like, "Oh no!"
Ambien said, "No, Ambien doesn't cause you to give racial, remarks.
It's getting real out here, y'all.
It is,
so
and somebody's always listening.
You're gonna have to watch what you say. So that was something that I saw, and I was like, oh Lord, save the Jesus. Look at this, something else is going. It's always something. So just be careful what you post and what you say, because racism is still here. If you don't know, if you haven't paid attention, it's still here. So
and it's a shame, but it's still here.
In 2018, it's still present in this year. So we're just going to keep, and this is something that's going to shock all of y'all. We're still going to keep Roseanne and those families in our prayers, and also Morgan Freeman and those accused, or those that have accused him of these acts, because it's not. We're not judging. We're not judging. We're not jury. This is all comes down to what God has planned. And people are going to get. And I know you're going to get sick and tired of us talking about God, but that's the only reason why we're here. Me and Deborah are here is because of Him. He has allowed us to be this far, to get this far. So if you're offended by us talking about the person, the God that we worship and serve, I apologize in advance. But this is one of those shows where. He is going to be talked about. He's going to be acknowledged. He's going to get all the praise. Exactly. So shouts out to them, and we're going to make sure that we keep them in our prayers, because we don't know nothing. Everything is all within. We know within.
Right.
But,
and hey, we need to say shout out to your 310 family too. Is it Juliana Castro?
She's very faithful.
You know what? I want to really get some of her scents. I want to smell that. She's been doing something with lavender and all kind of stuff.
Shout out to you,
Juliana.
Thank you all.
Shout out to you,
for welcoming me and allowing me. Thank you for welcoming Deborah and keeping Deborah in the loop. She loves you as much as you all love her, and I love every single last one of y'all. From Tim, our CEO, all the way down to myself, my little old tiny self, who tries to give inspiration every day. Because on the 310 community website, I post inspiration every morning along with my.
Well, she says that that our show really helps her.
Yeah.
And I'm glad to hear that. It's wonderful when you hear people say that something you say really helps them. Rather than saying, it's just a waste of time. Or something like that. Well, we are ready for you. Definitely. Andre is going to perform for us. And Andre, you can tell them too, like you remind me. I just always start singing. I forget all about that.
You can find my music anywhere and everywhere. The easiest thing to do to be linked up to my music is go to AndreTyronemusic.com. That is my music page. It has my SoundCloud page. You can check out my music. Go to Amazon.com, purchase my music, iTunes. All of those digital music is sold. Spotify, all those places in my music. And if you would really
outside also plays a big part on this. But the same as Andre, I have a Spotify channel. You can find me there. And saying that added on to sites, I honestly I haven't heard of them, but I think they all come through TuneCore as both of us. If you just Google our names, it'll pull up our music and where you can definitely find it from. Andre gets ready to.
So a song and dedicate. Belinda's Cry.
Definitely. I love that song too. That song and my song Lazy Day need to shake hands because they both are dedicated to Belinda. Yes.
Yeah, so Green, you can find my song on my first album entitled Let's Begin. And while it's loading, it gives me opportunity to talk to you and to let you know that this song is special to me. My mother always wants me to sing it, and whatever mother wants, mother gets. So while it's doing this loading, thank you all for your supporting the Live in the Divas Den.
Yes, definitely. We appreciate it so highly. Definitely.
Share this message, share this page, share this YouTube link with your friends and family. Facebook, we're no longer live on Facebook. We're live here on YouTube, but we still post the link from the YouTube live on our Facebook.
Do. And since you're saying that, I have definitely hooked up with two people that when I was when I first started my singing journey, and I was with a singing group. We were called the Soul Emotions, and we have connected, guys. So maybe one time something might happen that might make it possible for us to all meet up together. Sandra Richardson concert.
It's for you, Mom. She had an unchanged life. No friends to call her home. She held her, never asked or demanded respect. Oh, till one day she met a man who promised to change the world. And so, at our last romance, and now she said, "Your lost, their lost, it's too bad, sad, move on now." I hear her heart say, yeah, 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 so sad, so sad, la, 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 la. It seems like I've been here before. I know every road leads, and I won't travel alone. I've had broken promises, but look what we have. I gave you my heart, so sad. You said things would change, but you don't even know my name. My name is all that I hear, but nothing has changed. So I'll say, is there lost? It's too bad. Oh, is there lost? It's too bad. Believe me, I know that all things seem hopeless. So many doors have closed in your face. But here, take my hand and come and go with me. Together we'll find just where you should be. 'Cause I see the fight and it's in your eyes, but you have to try. Speak to me, yeah, 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 Mama, it's their loss.
Yes, yes, yes. That's one of my favorite. So guys, again, if you want to link up to my music, you can definitely go to my webpage, iamdeborahware.com, and you can go to Andre's page, which is I am Andre Tyrone.
What is he trying to say? My music page is Andre Tyrone Music.
Trying to tell them.
Look, I look at her face like, you all what?
Look, you know you got
Andre.
Gmail,
I know I do. AndreTyroneMusic.com. You can link up with me by sending a message to therealAndreTyrone@gmail.com. All on all social medias, I am Andre Tyrone. You can just Google me, Andre Tyrone. I'll come up that way. I am Googleable. Is that a word?
Yes, and I've noticed that all I gotta put in is I am, and I put the D.
That's it.
And the rest it comes up. But this is so enjoyable. I look so forward to this every Friday. I see the vision. I see, that it's getting to where we want it to get.
Yes.
They say the things that take the longer to get there, that's because someone is waiting at the end for it all to just unfold. And it's so comfortable. I mean, I enjoy being in your company, having you as my co-host. I will not tell anybody anything else but that. You have to sit next to this guy, work with this guy. I'm telling you, he is awesome. He is amazing. A couple of other things. We still are doing our kickball game. We haven't set a date. It's all this rain and everything.
Yeah,
crazy. So hopefully before the summer is out, we'll get to it once we can get together.
And I'm gonna try. I'm not making any promises. I've already sent a message to a celebrity to ask her if she would make a guest appearance or come and sing the national anthem or something. And I will tell you that the artist that I sent the message to, Deborah, went to her establishment already and performed. So I sent a message to her.
Yes, I sure did. I already know who that is.
I hope that she responds back.
Trina Braxton, I'll be going back again.
Hope she replies to me. But I sent out a message to her. I'm also going to send one out to Tamar because, I love Tamar. I love Tamar.
Yeah, I like Tamar. I like Tony. You know what, since you said that? Matter of fact, I just saw Tawanda just the other day at the Quick Trip gas station. We were getting gas. What? And the funny thing about it was, I don't like to bum rush any of the celebrities. She was in her white Mercedes truck, but she was on the phone. And, they don't go into the gas station to pay for their gas. They just go to the pump. So she had her cap on. But, of course, my better half came back. He said, you want to see Tawanda Braxton? I said, yeah. He said, the tall one, the pretty one? I said, yeah. He said, she's right over there. I said, nah, I kept telling him. I said, no, she's not. He circled around, pulled up on the side of her, and it was so funny because she didn't have to do it. But she was on the phone, and she smiled, and I waved, and she waved. And I said, you know what? I'm not going to bother her because I figured she'll remember that more than anything. Yeah. But I did send a message saying, I didn't want to bother you, but I want to say thank you for waving back at me. Because, not all celebrities do that. They'll ignore you. But it's so funny how you brought that up and said that. Yeah, definitely.
So thank you for joining and tuning into Live in the Divas Den. You can message us anytime underneath these comments. We'll post the link on Facebook for the show. Also, send us a message to liveinthedivasden@gmail.com. We look forward to working with you, interacting with you. We're going to go out on a Stevie Wonder song since he's our spotlight artist.
I'm overjoyed. But I want to also ask everybody to please keep me in your prayers. I have my audition for The Voice on the 16th of June. That's right. Like I said before, if it's no more than the experience, I'm happy because they didn't have to, choose me to say that I could come for an audition. So I'm looking forward to that. We're still working on, let's see what else. About the bus ride, still that, and then the boat show. Yes. So that's into effect. I'm working on that. I'm working on it. It's just the weather. Every time you look up, the weather is raining. And my book update, I'm still working on it.
That's all you need to know.
Yes. That's it.
So Deborah wanted to go out overjoyed, and I was like, Deborah Joy's so slow. So we're going out on something else.
Now, if you're going out on something else that you're moving and grooving, you got to move and groove.
I ain't going to tell you what it's going to be. You're going to have to wait and see.
All right. We love y'all so much. We love you. If you're interested in being on this show, remember, send us a message at liveinthedivasden at gmail.com. Don't
forgot.
forget, we're always looking for guests that wants to come and join us. Hey, 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 hey.
Isn't that better?
Yes, that's better. Hey, 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 hey. I hope y'all are grooving with us at home.
Yeah, I hope so. Well, I'm grooving.
Hey, hey, hey.
Very superstitious, writings on the wall. Very superstitious, letters about to fall. 13-month-old baby, broke the looking glass.
Love y'all.
Have a good night.
Have a good night.
Yeah.